Hello and welcome to the Stashdown Diaries. My name is Jen and I'm your socially awkward knitting friend from Cape Breton. And today it's time to do the April update for my Stashdown. And it's also May the 4th, so May the 4th be with you. I am watching a little bit of Star Wars today myself. So I think I'll start with what I brought into my stash in the last month because it's going to be fairly quick, I think. I brought in 100 grams of dishcloth cotton, and I think I mentioned in a previous video that I like to knit my dishcloths in 3 balls at a time, so then I'll end up with one of each color and then one scrappy one to keep for myself. And I had a extra, so I bought 2 more balls of dishcloth cotton and made the 3. So that was 100 grams of that. And then last Saturday was local yarn shop day. So I went to Tracy's Rolling Yarn Shop. She had a little event going on where she had like snacks and delicious donuts from Sweet Side of the Moon and stuff and discounts. So I went down and I had a plan. So it wasn't impulse buying or anything like that. We know that's against the rules, or more like guidelines. So one of the things that I want to do, I'm going to finish my Humulus sweater, and then after that I'm going to cast on a love note. I have the fingering weight yarn for the love note, so I went in and I got some mohair to hold together with it. So this is Sandisgarn, if I'm saying that right, I don't know. Tin silk mohair, and I got 5 balls of this, and I think the colorway is almond. And the fingering weight yarn is Lizzie Ann, and it's like a natural base with different tone brown speckles. I think it's going to be really pretty together with this. So that's the plan for that. And then I picked up, I got 5 of these. So that was 125 grams. So I'm up to 225 grams in. And then I picked up this ball of Galway worsted to go with 2 other balls of Galway worsted that I already have for knitting like mitts or hats. So I'm going to be casting on those fairly soon. So this one is another 100 grams. So stash in for this month was 325 grams, which is not bad, especially compared to March. But March, you know, I've kind of recovered from it if you think about it. And I'll get into that when I go through what I knitted. So what stash is out? I worked on my northeasterly blanket, and it's in this lovely bag by the Fat Squirrel Fibers. And so this month I finished my first strip, but the one that I'm counting for this month, because I used all of it, is the chocolate bunny cake section, which is this one. This is Mustache Yarn. It's one of my favorites of the colorways that she's done. It's so pretty. And then I started this one, and I have to start the next strip with the rest of that. So you probably see this one in the May update. So that was 44 grams. So that's that one. And then I knitted another yarn cozy because I wanted to use up all the rest of this handmade in Casbah. This was one of the first really nice yarns that I purchased for myself. It was in my stash for a really long time, like a decade or something like that. I think I said it in the last video because I knit a couple other yarn cozies out of this. So this one is 11 grams. And I had a little bit left over, but I put it in my notions pouch to use as scrap yarn. And I have been using it as scrap yarn for thumbs on mittens. So this pattern, the yarn cozy, it is by Nitty Natty, and she is actually having a cozy along right now, and I will link that video down below. She doesn't just have yarn cozies, she also has like bottle cozies and stuff too, so I might get in on that, or I might just knit more yarn cozies. I have to get through some scrap yarn because it's a bit crazy. So yarn cozy, handmade in Casbah, really old stash, 11 grams. And next, so I just showed you the little bit of this yarn on the northeasterly. So what I do when I'm doing self-striping yarns. I want all self-striping yarns in my northeasterly. So what I do is I'll knit a blanket square for my barn raising blanket. And then whatever left after that goes into the northeasterly. So this is Timber Yarns. I can't remember the name of the colorway, but I made socks out of it before, and it's just, look at it. Look how pretty. So I got that at Tracy's Rolling Yarn Shop before. So you'll probably see more blanket squares in the next month because I have to knit a couple more and get some more self-striping yarn ready for the northeasterly. So this one is 15 grams. I'm not over like what I brought in yet, but I'll just keep going. Okay, so yeah, I need to talk about the next one. This is one of the yarns that I got in my super amazing yarn crawl for my 40th birthday. It is the Estelle Crazy Sock Twins. I've woven the ends. I just haven't cut them yet because I'm gonna soak these first with other socks that I knit. So I wanted to try this yarn out, and I don't know, like, it's obviously the color's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. I just found the yarn a bit splitty, and I'll see if I can find one. Yeah. There was a knot in it at not a good color change, and then all through it, I don't know if you can see that little bit sticking up. I'll put it in the white. Yeah, so that little bit sticking up. So the two different colors that are applied together, sometimes one of the colors would have a knot in it. So it's just not in one of those plies, and it happened a lot. So, and for the price point, I definitely can't see myself using this yarn for gifts. And for the price point, I think I'd rather Zauberball for this type of yarn. Really sorry, Estelle, but I love a lot of their yarns. I love their suds. I love their worsted. I love their color flow. They have so many great yarns. It's just this one with all those tiny knots through it, it just wasn't it. I'll see how they wear. If they wear really well, then, but still for gifts, I don't like having all those little tiny threads sticking out, and you don't really, I don't know what to do with that. When I came to a knot in the skein that was at an inopportune time, I just cut it and then like got back to the right color. So there's a spare ball of this, like, that I don't know. I guess I'll do a blanket square or something with it, but it's a shame because the colors in this yarn are really great. There's a black one I really want to get, but if I get it, it'll just be for me, but it's something I have to really think about because of the price point. But anyway, these are socks for me. I do love them. Like, I love the color. It's just that price, but 67 grams for these socks. And then I knit gifty socks. Good old Patton's Croy. This is in the cameo color. I ordered this yarn, and so I didn't really get to make sure it was the same dye lot. And it might even still be the same dye lot. I'm not even sure how it works with Patton's Croy, but you can see the difference in it a bit. The color is, this one here, the color is blended in more, and you can see more defined, like in the pink here, and then like the blue down here, it's more defined. But I do like, I really like Patton's Croy. I have no complaints about it. Socks that I've knit for other people, they really like them. So these are socks that are going to be gifted. If somebody could tell the size of them, they could probably guess who they're for. Because I got like some people that are on either end of the spectrum for sizing. So these ones are 82 grams. Really happy with those. Vanilla socks have been like my comfort thing lately. I've had to deal with a lot of loss in the last year, and the most recent one was my old cat Tucker in February. I might have mentioned this in another video, but it's been a big adjustment because he was always like right there in my face. So, like, in a good way. So just the Vanilla Socks, Mindless, Knitting, and then Comfort TV has just been my go-to lately. And the socks I have on my needles now are all Vanilla Socks too. So I've just been really enjoying those. So those, yeah, like I said, 82 grams. So as I mentioned, Stash In was dishcloth cotton, 2 balls of it. So I had one this color, I had one this color, and I had one this color and this color. So I had 4 balls. I paired these 3 together, and this one needed 2 more to go with it. And I couldn't at the store really find some that matched it really well, but I bought another ball in this color and then another ball in this color. Oh yeah, actually this one goes with this one. So this does pair together. And then when I do the scrappy ones, they're for me, so it doesn't matter if they match. These ones I save for gifting. And then the scrappy ones that I knit that are all missy-matchied, they are kept for me and I enjoy them. So so I got 3 pairs of dishcloths to be put in the gifty box. I have to establish a gifty box. I don't have like a special spot for all my gift knits yet. I'm gonna have to remedy that. I have to clean my yarn room later, so that'll be one of the little sub jobs to do there. So dishcloths, I knit them in 2 batches. So the first batch was 127 grams, and then the second batch was 66 grams. So that was all the dishcloths. That's more out. And I got really sick of knitting them. So I have a couple more, like I have the scrappy ones to knit. This is my designated dishcloth project bag. It's by Kicks and Giggles. I've had it for a while. Really love the color scheme on it. And then I have a little Applejack thing that I stuck there because I didn't know what to do with it. So I keep the needles in here, and then I have all these scrappy balls right here. But I got sick of knitting them after those 6 and just stopped. I wanted to knit the, it is hard on the hands. I wanted to knit the Vanilla Socks. So I will probably work on these maybe towards the end of this month and just get them done. And then that'll almost be all of my dishcloth cotton out of the stash, except for like this big ball of cotton that I have. Excuse me, but I'll keep working on the big ball after. It's a really color I really like. I think a lot of people would like that color gifted, so I'll just keep knitting on that and getting those dishcloths out and set for gifting. Okay, so yeah, so those were 127 grams and 66 grams. And then my last project that I just got off the needles the other day on the weekend is my Ziggy. You would have seen this in my whip roundup video where I was trying to rank things and decide what to prioritize. I really love this. This is, yeah, was a little bit harrowing towards the end. I wasn't sure like if I had enough yarn. I knit it out of Miss Bab's Kilimanjaro, which is now discontinued, and it was in a Babette skein, which is not like, I guess you would call it kind of like Milan sort of, but like just not the same weight or yardage as one of the regular skeins of Kilimanjaro. And I wasn't really sure how this was gonna work out with the amount of yarn and how much of the pattern I could actually keep going on. So I just kind of knitted until I was getting close to running out of yarn. And so what happened was I was knitting down and knitting down and knitting down. And when I got to this last garter section, there's supposed to be a full lace section and then a picot bind off in the pattern. When I got down to the garter section, it became pretty obvious to me that I wasn't going to have enough yarn for a full 20 row, or is it 20 repeats? 20 repeats. So it's like a 40 row lace panel. So I started looking in books at lace edgings and stuff to do instead, and I didn't really see anything. Like, a lot of them were bottom up rather than top down, knitting this way. So what you would do with a lot of them is start knitting them from the bottom up and then start your project, but that didn't work for this because this was already top down. So what I decided on is that I would do 2 rows of the lace panel and then do the picot bind off. And then I got about halfway through the picot bind off, which I was just like past this halfway point, and it became really obvious to me that I wasn't going to have enough yarn to finish the bind off. So I ripped back to the garter and I cut back on 2 garter rows, and then I did the 2 lace panel rows again, and then I did the picot bind off, and I had 2 grams of yarn left, I think it was. Yeah, 2 grams. And I'm really happy with the way it turned out. So this is a gift. Ziggy is by Joji Locatelli, and as usual, her patterns are just well written and just nice to knit. It was kind of addictive, although it did go dormant for a little while because I had to do Christmas knitting, and then I kind of forgot about it. But once I picked it back up again, it's just really nice to knit. So it's all blocked and everything, and that is being gifted on the weekend. So you can imagine who's getting it because of what weekend it is. I hope she's not watching. Okay, so while I was figuring out my balance and everything, I realized that I missed a pair of socks. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to carry them over to next month, because where this is an ongoing stash down, it doesn't really matter what months I put them in, really, because it's my totals overall. And I'm the boss, and I get to make the rules. So for the sake of this month, the amount of yarn out is 604 grams. The amount of yarn in was 325 grams, so I'm minus 279, which brings me to minus 2,113, minus the socks that I completely forgot about. But you'll see them next month unless I sell them, and then in which case they'll just be a memory. That's just how it is. So moving on, in the upcoming month, I do YouTube shorts from time to time of my works in progress and different things, whatever I feel like it. I did one on my travel knitting, which was of course socks, and it was the Ziggy as well. So I don't just stick to like the long form content videos. I will do shorts from time to time that you might find interesting, so you might want to subscribe. Maybe it would really help me out. And also like this video. My next video, I have a couple ideas for. I'm not going to be waiting until next month for the next update, because I have a couple ideas of things to do. So I'm not just leaving my channel dormant. We don't want that. I have a couple of things on the go knitting wise. Like knitting things to sell is ongoing all the time. I decided to knit through the Saltwater Knits books, and I have to finish my Humulus sweater so I can cast on my love note. I am going to post the link to Tracy's Rolling Yarn Shop in the down bar, because if you're from Nova Scotia, you want to keep track of her. She has beautiful yarns, and she could be coming to your neighborhood or close to it sometime. She is also going to be doing like cruise ship days down at the Port of Sydney, which, imagine if you're on a cruise ship and you thought, I won't bring my knitting because I probably won't have time to knit, or your needles break, or you didn't bring enough knitting, and you get off the boat and right there is a yarn shop. Wouldn't that just be like the best thing ever? The first thing you see when you get off the boat is a yarn shop, because that's where she is. She's like right next to the boat. So I'll link her below. I will link my socials below so you can keep track of, if you're interested, my finished projects throughout the month, because I post them on Instagram as they're done. And I also have very cute pictures of my dog. And then I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Keep on, I would do the, I don't know what I'm gonna do for an outro tagline. Stephen West does keep on knitting kitten, which is one I love. Just keep stashing on. Bye. I told you I was socially awkward.